5 things you should never tell a mechanic. Here are 5 things you should never tell a mechanic either before or during the service or vehicle repairs because it could severely fire back on you. There are instances whereby as the client or customer, you think that you are being helpful or that the outcome could be improved. But in reality, you are just pissing off your mechanic and making his work more difficult. Just the same way you would not be in a theater room and instructing your doctor on how to do surgery. The first thing never to tell a mechanic or actually do is watch the mechanic do the whole job. Some clients or customer would want to watch a mechanic do their job. What this actually saying loud is that I don't trust you. I want to watch you do the work. When in fact the mechanic had done the job many times, you are actually telling the mechanic that I think this is your first time doing the job and you don't know what you're doing. In fact, whatever client does to earn a living, he or she would not like someone watching them doing the job every step all the way. And equally, the mechanic doesn't like that either. It can get people on edge and there can be mistakes made where normally there would not be mistakes made because the mechanic is stressed out, having eyes watching him through the whole process. Supposedly during a loved one having a very extensive surgery in an operating room, there are things that the surgeon going to do which it's normal practice. But as a person who is not a surgeon, just observing would see these things are very abnormal, when in fact these are just normal procedures. The second thing not to tell a mechanic is before there is a diagnosis or estimate has been written up, is to tell the mechanic just fix it all and call me when the job is done. This is a very bad idea because the mechanic will do the job and once done, you can be surprised the spare cost is over 100,000, which you did not plan for. And you don't even know what has been done. And legally, there's nothing you can do about it because you okayed the job to be done and the bill must be paid. So you must be very careful before you allow any job to be carried out for your car without proper instructions. It's better to always say, find out what's wrong and give me a call to know what's the problem and the repair cost in order to approve the repairs. The third thing you definitely should never tell a mechanic is your predetermined diagnosis because you read online or do research on Google and YouTube and made to believe what's wrong with your car. And your mechanic must follow that without carrying out the necessary fault-finding diagnosis procedures. This can land you into a big problem because the mechanic will only fix the car as you explained. So whether the car fault is fixed or not, it's not the mechanic problem because it's you who gave the instructions. You must be very careful when you read online because it could mislead you. The correct thing to say is that I read this online and it could be the problem, but just carry out your diagnosis to figure out the faults and give me a feedback. The fourth thing to never tell a mechanic is the steps involved to do the job. In many cases, an experienced mechanic knows the time and probably the shortcuts to fix a problem which can reduce the cost and time to be taken. But if you tell a mechanic that I read that you have to take out water pump, oil cooler, radiator to fix a timing chain and you want your mechanic to follow that, well, the mechanic will not argue with you, but in his mind he knows probably you just have to take one part or two and the job is done, which could have saved time and money. But since you instructed the steps to be taken to do the job, you will equally pay more for the unnecessary steps and the job will even take more time to complete. The fifth thing you should never tell a mechanic, especially when you have agreed about everything to be done to the vehicle and you just show up when repairs are carried out, that you have already purchased all the parts for the job and they are in the trunk, thinking that it will save you a few coins. It sounds a good idea, but it's not because as a mechanic, they know original parts with warranty and the poor quality parts and can even get them at a lower price than you bought them. So it's better to engage the mechanic on how to buy parts or in order to get good quality parts and better deal. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed watching the video. Just give a thumbs up and touch on the subscribe button.